A warm good evening to all of you. I am Wasim Amin, founder president of Maxwell Alumni Association. Maxwell Alumni Association is an official association of Maxwell Leadership Council, an initiative of IIT IM faculty and alumni, and is under the leadership of Professor Dr. Ashraf Rizvi. The main objectives of our association is to promote close relation between Maxwell Leadership Council towards upliftment of the weaker sections through educational interventions. We conduct several programs and organize educational webinars across different domains, namely COVID-19 vaccination, a myth or boo, improving your resume and interview skills, commit to quit, an event organized on World No Tobacco Day. Career opportunities in artificial intelligence. This is an upcoming webinar scheduled on 6th July. Very recently, we have launched programs dedicated for kids to improve their organizational, leadership, and communication skills. To name a few, we have kids speech sessions and kids debate. The 3 days online workshop for kids in Python programming is one such initiative. If there are more than one kid at home, we request all of you to use single device in order that other participants get an opportunity. The program shall be conducted by Engineer Ahmed. He hails from Bangalore. He is an IoT developer at Scalosphere Computing and trainer on various technical domains. I welcome him on board and hand over the screen to take it further. Thank you, one and all. Hope you will enjoy the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. And a very good evening and welcome. I welcome everyone here into this session on basics of Python, as we are getting ahead to start with. It's a pleasure to be a part of this and to share my knowledge into this thing with everyone here out there. Before we begin, I would like to address a few things so that we can have this session going on in the best way possible and can benefit both you and us. Keeping in a concern that we are hosting this over a virtual, and also keeping that in a concern that we can have as interactive session as possible so that we feel, and it seemed to be that we are able to get things and address our queries and issues in the best way possible. I would request everybody here to kindly drop me questions or any concerns you have in the chat box here. I would also welcome the polite comments and polite questions that would help us to go as smooth as possible. Without delaying further and keeping the timing concern, let's begin this. As titled, Basics of Python or Python's Basic. I hope I'm audible there, because you can respond to me in the chat box there if I'm audible properly to everybody there. All right, thank you for that. So we would be starting here, considering that everybody are novice. And assuming that everybody are here for the first time or are facing the Python as a starter or beginner. Hence, we would be starting from the pretty basics, from the ground level up, and understand how can this Python be and how can we get started with this. Let me also address a few things like why do we require to learn this and why a programming language to all those who are not pretty much aware of this. We live in a computing era, and it's obvious that we make our works done by the computers and the computing devices. In order to make them understand, in order to make them work for us, it's necessary that we provide an instructions. And when I say that providing instructions to the computer or the computing devices, as a human, we need to speak a language so that the other person understands it. Similarly, even the computers or the computing devices needs to understand in a similar way. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, might be compilations or machine language translations or assembly language and all of these things. But in simple terms, we can say that we have programming languages which are understood by the computers. Yes, there are something happening behind the scene like compilations or conversions and all of these things. That's secondary, but we do have a languages for them too. Out of these languages, Python is one among them. It's one of the very much famous, popular out there, easy to learn, a high level language, and the syntax are so easy that it feels like reading in English. So I feel that everybody could find this pretty much easy and interesting too, as I am here when I was starting with this. This can be used for various other purposes too, like web development, software development, system scripting, and many other domains, machine learning, data science, and all of these things. This plays a very important role, and so on. So with this, let us start doing it. I'll share my screen to you, and we'll have few slides, not much, and not make you bored. We'll have few slides onto this thing and understand what is the concepts we're going to learn and how are we going to learn. And yeah, with this, here we go. This is our content for today. We will be addressing, we have already seen introduction to Python and why Python. We'll see the Python context, syntax, comments, variables, numbers, Boolean integers, and so on as we go ahead. So why Python? Let me address this once again. It's one of the most easiest and one of the best syntax we have out there, which is very much readable to anyone who want to start with the programming. You can do a lot more of the work with just a few simpler lines, with just few instructions and codes. And it also has one of the most widely growing community out there of programmers. So it is considered one of the most widely popular programming language. And as mentioned earlier, it can be used for various different domains, including the web development to data science to machine learnings or software development, whatever you name it. And you may find the presence of Python there some other way. Okay, I think I can go ahead with the next slides later and jump into how can we do it. Here we are simplifying the things. That is, we do know that you may be, and many of you all may have different platforms. Some may be with the Windows, some may be with the Python or Mac, some may be with the Linux, whatever the platform you're using. To keep this universal and make sure that everybody gets a hands-on into this thing, we would be using an online interpreter so that everybody can just have, whoever have an access to the internet, as you're here already with the internet, we can have an access to it and then get started. So you can follow along with me. I'll take you there. And then we can see the first syntax of the Python and how does it look like. So let us open the Google Chrome. You can go ahead with whatever the choice of your browser you have. I'll just write Python online interpreter. Python online interpreter and search it. And you may have your first link or the first search results might be by www.programmist.com. I'll just open that. And here I have the window. I hope everybody are done with this. Yes. So now what is the syntax here? So when we say that a proper combination of words makes some sense in while speaking out there, similarly, a proper combination of different words or symbols which are considered correct in programming is nothing but the syntax. So each programming language has its own syntax. They may vary slightly with each other, but I would say that Python syntax is the most easiest of all. So as you open this, you already have a file being created that is main.py. And as you have your audio files, as you have your video files, which has either .mp3 extensions or a file format, or .html for the web pages, or .mp4 for the video files. Similarly, the Python files are saved with an extension .py. So here I have already one file being created that is main.py. So I would keep it as it is. So whenever you see any file with a .py, it's your Python file itself. So in the Python, the syntax seems almost like in English, very much understandable. So here it says print, and in the, if I just write it with along with your, so print, I open the brackets and or braces and write hello world. I save this. Sorry, I do not need to save this in this case, that is in case of online interpreter. And then I click on the run. When I click on the run, you can see that I get an output in the shell that is on the output screen, hello world. I get the output on the screen, hello world. The syntax is so simple, that is print, braces, inside the double quotes, you have hello world because it is a string. So I'm printing a string. What is a string? I'll come back to that later. But here, print hello world, and I got the output. I hope everybody are getting it. If yes, please let me know with an S here. So this is how we can print anything in the output console. I may write print, and this is Ahmed here. I run this, and I get this is Ahmed here. Now going ahead, let us see how can we add the comments, because that would be helping us in the upcoming. So comments in the Python are added with the help of hashtags. So you write hashtag, this is comment. And comments are written for user or programmer information. So comments are written for the user or the programmer information so that he understands what is being happening out there. For example, I may write this code and you may not be aware of this, what I'm doing here. So if I want to tell you this thing, so I will just write a comment that this is printing my name. So if you want to write a comment in Python, you write hashtag followed by the whatever you want to write, that is a comment. So this comments are not executed by the compiler. If I just run this, you can see this. I do not get this comment in the output shell. Instead, I just get whatever I have in the print statements. Are we clear with the comments? So we have a question here. What is comment used for? Yes, but I don't get what it does. So, all right. So what does a comment do? Comment does a pretty simple thing. For example, you need to provide an information to someone else. Consider that I'm sharing you this file to you, and I have written here print Ahmed. I've written Ahmed here, and I run this, and I get output Ahmed properly. But if I share this file to you, might be you're not knowing me or you're not aware of me. So I want to inform you that the below line is the name of the programmer. So I just want to give that. So I write the below line is my name. The below line is my name, or the below is my name, whatever it is. The below printed statement, printed syntax is my name. So in simple, you can see the comments are given for users to understand or the programmers to understand what's there, just for user information or programmers information, and that is not compiled. I hope that is clear to everybody out there. Okay, now going ahead, this was a quick syntaxes we just saw, and how can we get started? Let us understand the basic things first. Let us understand the different data types and variables. So before that, we'll understand the variables and then come back to the data types. So here again, I write a comment here. And why do I write a comment? Variables, just for your information, that is our information, that's not going to be executed. So what are variables now? So variables are nothing but containers which will store some data. Variables are nothing but containers which will store some data. For example, I want to store Ahmed in something so that I can later use that. So where would I store this? Where would I store this? You get some chocolates and you want to eat it later. So you need a space, you need a place where you want to store those things. It might be a freezer, might be cupboard, might be a drawer. You need a space where you need a place where you need to store that. You need a container for that. So similarly, if you want to store something, where do you store that? So we have something known as variables. So these are data containers which will have or store some value into it. So there is pretty much easy way of declaring it. Just directly declare a variable name, whatever the variable name you can see. Might be I'll give x equal to, I'll write x equal to x equals to, I'll write Ahmed. So what I'm doing is, this is my variable, x is my variable, I'm storing Ahmed into that. So I'll just write here print x. If I print x, what do you think we did print? What will this line print now? Yes, it will print Ahmed there because I have stored Ahmed inside that particular variable X. I'll delete this so that you have the identification that it is printing Ahmed there. You can see that it is printing me Ahmed there. Similarly, I can also create multiples y equals to us in here and then print y. Save, sorry, run this and you have us in here. So I created two different variables, and though these two variables store two different data, and those are being printed in the output screen. I hope it's clear with everybody. You can also store numbers and different data types. So there are many different data types out there. If you want to, what are data types? The example numbers you have, then you have strings and so on. So I'll just show you a few and then we can go ahead in depth. So I'll write A equals to 1, B equals to 2, B equals to 2, C equals to hummingbird. I'll save this, not save this, I will just print this. Print A and then run this. It is printing me 1 because A is storing the value 1. Can we use number or words instead of X and Y? You can give even a words, anything such, it works perfectly well. And variable names are also case sensitive. Variable names are also case sensitive. What is the case sensitive means? Example, I write A here and I write capital A here. Capital A equals to 5. Now, if I run this, printing A is giving me 1. If I, instead of that, if I write A here and run this, it will give me 5. That is, the capital letter and small letters are different. They're not considered as same. Capital is different, small is different. That is, they're case sensitive. Are we clear with this? What X and Y means? X is nothing but the variable name. Y is also a variable name. You can give any variable names. So now let us just have a look into data types in a bit, in a quick little thing. I'll not take you much in depth. To keep it simple, I'll just tell you a few things in the data types. What are data types now? I'll delete this or I'll keep it as it is. What are data types? So if I say that we have hummingbird, it is a bird. We have a cow, it is a animal. We have a car, it is a vehicle. We have a rose, it's a flower. So they are all different things, different types. So similarly, Ahsan or Ahmed or any sentence is nothing but a string. And if we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of these things, these are nothing but integers. Or if I say 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on, those are nothing but floats, that is floating values. And yes, I'll keep it to this much. I'll not take it much further. So similarly, now this is, if I write here, name, I'm creating a new name equals to Ahmed. And this is a string. Name is equal to Ahmed, and this is the string, because strings are nothing but set of letters or characters. So if I just write it here, and this is string. Ahmed is a string value. I can have Ahmed anything. I can have Ahmed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or AHSA, and whatever I can have it. And strings are always enclosed inside the double quotes. Strings are always enclosed inside the double quotes. If I print now, print name, this should print me the complete thing here. That is Ahmed at 1, 3, whatever it is. It's just nothing but set of different characters. Are we clear with the string? And if you want to know what example, consider that you are not aware what is this data type, then you can write here. You don't know what is the data type of this, then you can write here, print type of name, print type of name. That is, you want to know what is the type of this name. If I run this, it is telling me class str, which is nothing but string. It is telling me str, that is, it is giving me the data type of this particular thing, this particular name variable that is having ahmad and all of these things. It is nothing but a string. So by using this type, you can have the data type of that particular variable. So we can always have that type function and then get to know the data type. Similarly, I'll just create one more here. I'll write number. Okay, number equals to 5. Enter. And sorry. And then I write print. I write type, and then I write number. So what is this? If I run this, it's telling me class int, that is, it is an integer. Number 5 is nothing but an integer. So it is telling me class int. Are we clear with this, everybody? String and integers. Similarly, we also have float. So whenever you have some example, I give a new number. I give second, or I'll write second number, okay? Or I'll just write, I'll make it simple. I'll write m equals to 0.5. So now I write print type and write m. If I run this, it says me float. It says me float, float. Whenever you have a decimal points, it says those are nothing but a float. So we have a question, total how many types are there? We have a lot more like string, integer, float, complex, tuple, range, and many more we have. Boolean, bytes, byte array. So once we know this few data types here, we can go ahead and check out the complex. You can also check out the tuple. We'll check out the list. We'll also check out the dictionaries and all of these things later. But for now, we'll keep it until here. And along with that, we'll just do one more thing here that should help us a lot. That is nothing but Boolean. So we have one more data type known as bool. I think so. If I write a comment here, that should help you all out. Integer, and here float, and here we write Boolean. So what is a Boolean? So Boolean is nothing but true or false. True or false. So you might have heard of the Boolean numbers, right? Boolean numbers. So what is a Boolean number? 1 or 0. That is nothing but true or false. So Boolean is nothing but true or false. So for example, I write here g equals to true, and then I write print and get to know the type of that, type of g. And if I run this, it says me okay, it is giving me the error. Why do you think it is giving me the error? I need to write here capital T. and then it should run perfectly well. And you can see this, it is telling me bool class bool. So even if I write false here instead of true here, that is if I write false here, false, false, that is nothing but 0, I run this, it is giving me bool itself, that is these are nothing but bool, that is Boolean. Let us just try doing this thing. I'll write 1 here and then run this, it says integer. So true and false for, so I'm doing something wrong here, true and false. That is nothing but our Boolean, bool. So now we know this thing. Now that we know this thing, let us go ahead a bit. Shall we go ahead a bit? We'll do two things. So what we'll do now is I'll delete this completely here so that we can proceed further. And we'll do some operations on strings, that is add two strings or do something and add two numbers with operators and all of these things. We'll just do this a bit quick. So I'll quickly create here two variables x. So it seems this is not taking my input. I'll just refresh the page once again. So I'll write x equals to ah, or I'll write hello. Okay, and I'll write y equals to Ahmed. All right, now I have two strings. Now we have two strings. One is hello and other one is Ahmed. We can also go ahead with, I also have a question here. What if I just not give single quotes, double quotes? Let us just see that, what happens. And then print this, print x, and also print y. Run this, and it works perfectly well. So what we'll do now is, we have assigned a string to a variable. We have assigned a string to a variable. Let us try to understand and do some operations into it. That is, we'll try to understand, what if I just want to know, I'll write here hello hummingbird. Sorry, I'm writing hummingbird here. Hello, this is our Python class. And I just want to know what is the length of this. I just want to know what is the length of this. Then I can quickly use len function and I'll have the length of this. I'll run this. It says the length of this x is 30. So I can get the string of the length. Are we clear with this? Similarly, I can quickly add, I'll delete this and I'll just add x plus y and then see what happens. It says hello Ahmed. Okay, along with this, I can also add some extra text between this, that is and write here a space and then plus, and then write, this will give me some space. You can also write something hello and plus, and I'll also write again here, this is Python class, and then plus. So what I'm doing is X space plus this Python class, this is space, this Y. So hello, this is Python class Ahmed. I'm getting it here. So like this, you can add strings. I hope this is clear with everybody. So we successfully concatenated the string. So this operation of adding two strings is also known as concatenation. That is, if I write it in the spelling here, it is CONCA, concatenation. So you have this concatenation. This is also known as concatenation. Adding of the two strings is known as concatenation. Either you can add these two strings directly in the print statement, or you can also store them in some other values, that is some other variable, and then print that variable. Even that should work perfectly well. So let us just try to add two numbers like a calculator with just using this simple operators, that is plus symbol, arithmetic operators, plus symbol, minus symbol, and so not symbol operators, and do a simple calculator. Okay, I'll delete this, and firstly I'll print welcome to my simple calculator. And this should print me welcome to my simple calculator. I'll assign two variables to this. That is, I'll create two variables, x equals to 5, y equals to 7. So I have this thing, and I'll do is I'll write print. I'll first write the addition of two numbers is, the addition of two numbers is, what do I write here now? Plus yes, what do I write here? Shall I directly pass x plus y? That is x plus y. Let me see what happens. So it says that we have an error here. So if I just write x plus y, what do you think we get? It is still giving us an error. The reason why we're getting this error is because we have a string here, and then we're actually doing with this. So if I just write here int of x plus y, let us just check out this with firstly, because we have the strings the further. Save this. Sorry. Run this. I get 12. What if I just do this way? I mean, like create a different variable like sum equals to x plus y, and sub equals to x minus y, multiply equals to, like we just create few variables, it'll store those values, multiply equals to x into y and div equals to x divided by y. And now I just write here, instead of doing this operations in the same print statement itself, I just write the addition is plus sum. When I run this, so I still get an error. The addition is, it says can only concatenate string and not the integer, because I'm giving here the string here, that is string, this is the string I have, and this is my integer. So it cannot directly concatenate the string with an integer. So if I just write integer, then it should work perfectly well. That is 12. Similarly, try printing out the remaining 4 different things. Are we done with this? Yeah, now we'll do is we'll try to concatenate both the string and the variable. So I'll write the addition is, I need to give plus, and I need to define what type of, that is nothing but my integer, right? Int of sum. Int of sum, and then most probably it should work. Do you think will this work? Can we use a Python's command on other syntax? The Python syntaxes will work with Python's. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the string here and converting that to a string and concatenating it both. So now it works. So we cannot concatenate the string with an integer. So what we did is we just converted that itself to this sum equal to string, and then we have our output there. So what we did is we converted the string to a, we converted the integer to a string with the help of str function, and now we can concatenate 2 different strings. Are we clear with this? So similarly, I would request you all to print the remaining things in a proper way so that we can have it as it is required. Sir, I tried all of them, and did you get the output? Muhammad Umar Khan? So are they working to you? It should work perfectly well. We can also convert them with different things like using format and all of these things, but let us have the simplest of all, that is convert that to string, and then we can concatenate two different strings, and then it should work. So this is for today's session. Let us summarize whatever we had been learning through before we wind up. So firstly, we learned what is Python, the syntax of the Python. We learned what are variables. Variables are nothing but data containers. We will store some data into it. Then we created some variables. We printed those variables with the print statements. Then we went ahead and then learned few different data types like strings, integers, float, and Boolean. Then we also use the the type function to make out the type of the variables. Similarly, we checked out that with Boolean also, we checked out with the float also, and all of these things. Then we learned how to concatenate the strings, that is add two different strings, and we were able to add two different strings. Then we going ahead, we also learned how can we use an operators, that is arithmetic operators like plus, minus, into division and all of these things, and then storing those values into some variables, and then printing them also. And while printing, we had our first error, that is we were not able to concatenate the string with an integer. So the solution was to convert that particular integer to string so that we can concatenate two different things. And now we are able to get that. And we also learned what is a commit and how can we implement or write a comment into our Python code. So I have a question here, how to comment multiple lines here. So if you want to have a multiple line comments, then all you need to do is just use triple quotes and then write, this is my multiple line comment stretching to various lines below. So this is your multiple line comments. So if you have any other questions regarding this thing, then let me know. So there is a question known as how to save this. So I don't think so. This provides me to save, and this interpreter provides me a save option that I can save it. If you have an interpreter, you can just save it, and that will be saved with file name.py. Let me see if I have Python just completed. No, I don't have a Python into this. So this is all for today's session we have, and yeah, looking forward for your questions. Oh yes, Mohammed Kamran, you can also take an input with that way, and that will take the input and then save that to X, and then you can print that input being taken, and that will learn in tomorrow's session. Are there more sites for Python? Yes, there are many online interpreters which you can check out. Okay, Max. When is the next session? Our next session is tomorrow at the same time.
Hello.
Yes, please tell me.
Hello.
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Sir, you can explain slow, sir.
Okay, you want me to explain much slower?
You explain slow, sir. You fast explaining means not understand.
Okay, sure. We'll do with that.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. I have a doubt.
Yes, please tell me.
Sir, that you're writing in hashtag on an Python compiler. Is that we have to write with it, or the computer is giving us?
So at present, I'm using an online interpreter. So this hashtag is pre-written, okay? But hashtag is used whenever you want to write a comment. For example, you want to give me some information in the code. So for the programmer's information, you just write that hashtag. That is nothing but a single line comment. And if you want to write a multiple line comments, then you can use a triple quotes followed by the multiple line comments and then closing it with the triple quotes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please tell me.
That is in chat group. You send something that mark its group. What is for that?
जल्दी मैंने मुंह पकड़ लिया हाथ पकड़ जल्दी छोड़ मुंह
Yes, sir.
I'm not exactly sure about that particular group, so I would request Maxwell to please clarify the same.
Okay.
Yeah, Maxwell Kids Group is dedicated for the kids program and any sessions. So we keep updating in that group.
Okay.
You can be part of that group and you can participate in our kids speech sessions. We have kids debate. So many more sessions are coming up. So you can be part of that group. And also we have lots of programs of Maths Leadership Council like mathematics, English. So it will be beneficial for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Daddy.
But if a program was going on, so we can get message in that group.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions or we will close?
Sir, what's your name?
Thank you, sir.
My name is Wasim Amin and the instructor is Engineer Ahmed from Bangalore.
You were living in America?
Sir,
How
can you
does
say
this
how to
matter?
get an input?
We have members across the globe.
Sir, how do we get an input from a user?
We'll be learning that how to take an input from the user and displaying that into the screen or storing that into a variable or performing some actions onto that in tomorrow's session.
Okay, sir.
Actually, sir, when I'm trying that some x plus y, over that it's telling me some error.
Can you please clarify the same question once again or put it down in the chat box in a brief so that I can help you out?
Okay, sir.
Where can we use Python?
We can use Python in various aspects like web development, we have backend, we have data science, machine learning, so many different domains. So we have a question here from the YouTube channel telling that how can we get into the group by Muhammad Bakar. So we have shared a link. I'm not sure whether that is being shared in the chat with YouTube live. We have shared a link through that we can get it in the group.
Hello?
I have shared the link again in the chat box.
Yes, sir, we got it.
Sir, if anyone...
Yes, please go ahead. Galaxy A12.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
How Python is identifying alphabets containing numeral?
So we have data types. So based on those, each data type, it identifies what data type it belongs to. But if you put something inside the double quotes, then it takes all those characters as one single string.
Okay.
How is a program made? Program is made by using set of instructions. Sir, please help in English. Surely, we'll take this feedback and work on it. Do we have any more? Do we have any more questions? If yes, please let us know.
Sir, for how many days these classes will go on?
This is going to be for another 2 days.
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow also having classes, sir?
Yes, we do have class tomorrow at the same time.
Okay. 7 o'clock too?
As mentioned in the brochure, 7 to 8 most probably.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please tell me, Mohammed Anas.
Are there any simple languages like Python?
Yeah, we do have, but I think Python is the most simplest of all. I mean, like has the easiest syntax to learn.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please tell me.
Is QBasic and Python programming same?
No. And we have one more question here that is, sir, I want to print my COD in 2 lines. Can you please help me? I am not getting what does the COD means here. That is cash on delivery. What do you mean with the COD exactly? If you want to print it in the 2 line, you can give /n to put it in the second line. That is backspaces. That should work. Now, all those who were requesting for the group link to join, the group link is also being shared in the YouTube chat, please check out that.
Sir, where can we use this?
May I know what exactly you want to use? Sir, I want to print a sentence, but it should be in two different lines. Please help me. You can use a backspace that is /n and so on to print that into two different lines.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please tell me, Mohammed Miraj.
Is Python useful for small business?
Yeah, surely. It's pretty much useful for small businesses too.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
sir, do most companies nowadays will they hire people who know Python or Java?
This is a question of subjective. So I would still say that Python has a huge demand. And it is one of the most popular language out there. Which is the best interpreter for Python? That's again a question of personal opinion because we have so many different interpreters and compilers. And
Sir, YouTube to what is your channel name?
Maxwell Alumni Association.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Are you providing any material?
Surely, we will provide you materials on the end of the sessions.
Thank you.
The YouTube link is also being shared in the chat box here. You can have a look into it.
Sir, what's the starting time and ending time of the class?
I think so. It's from 7 to 8 if I'm right. And we would be ending it max by 8:15, not more than that.
Thank
Brother
you.
Ahmad, can we end the session now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much and see you tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.